So this is a tutorial class. Now, as per the timetable that we had discussed on Tuesday, okay, so you have two classes. Tuesday is 10 to 12, that is allocated for your lecture classes. And then on Thursday, this particular time, we have tutorial or lab, either of it, and some consultation time. So just before we move on with the tutorial and we go around discussing the questions, there are quite a few number of questions in there. So before we do that, now, do you have any questions or any queries in regards to CN 603 so far? You're most welcome to speak. You can unmute and then you can speak. Any questions so far? Or you're confused about something? Or you're having clashes? Clashes should be sorted by now, but still, if you're having clashes, do feel free to let me know. Nothing?
Sir,
Yes, Masharat.
we did communicate with Master, but he didn't find us a solution.
Okay, so he was not able to find your solution. So yours is clashing on Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Okay, give me a second. Give me a second. All right. Okay, so the time that is actually clashing is from 11 onwards, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now, would it be fine with okay? If would it be fine with everyone, just in case if I shift the class, instead of having from 10 to 12, we have it from 9 to 11 on Tuesdays. That means this is a swap. Tuesday, 9 to 11. Now be very careful. You might have a class for CN 623. I think this has been shifted or not. That is, I'm not so sure. So any clashes, if I shift the class from 9, shift the class to 9 to 11 on Tuesdays.
So it will be a clash again.
It will be a clash again with education
Yes,
students?
sir.
Okay. Now Tuesdays, I am very much Tuesdays, so I don't have any. Okay, Tuesday 12 to 2. Or you again a clash because you have a class from
No,
11.
no.
So it will
No.
be okay. From 12 to 2, it will be okay.
12 to 2 will be okay?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So all okay from education students. What about CSI students? Shannon, Ronish, okay from your end?
Okay.
All set? So if I shift CN 603 from 10 to 12, 12 to 2, so that should be fine with everyone? Yep, no clashes?
So from what time? 12?
From 12 to.
Oh yeah, so it's gonna be okay. That's it.
It's okay? All right. So very quickly, let me go and just readjust the timetable.
So on Tuesday, you are saying we'll have the class from 12 to 2,
Yes, Tuesday.
but that's the class when we have MTH 11 to 1.
11 to 1. Okay, so there's a
Yes.
clash, right? Okay,
Yes, sir.
now that's what I wanted to know. So you have a class from 11 to 1. Okay, now what if I shift the class, let's say 2 to 4? No, 2 to 4. Ronish, Shannon, 2 to 4. Are you still having CSC 622 with Mr. Sanmol Gunganda?
Yes, sir.
Yes. That means we have no viable options on Tuesday then. Okay, let's make it like this. How about on Mondays? Monday, let's say 12 to 2. Monday,
We are-
12, we have class?
No,
Mashallah?
no, we are free.
You're free? Okay, CSI students? Monday, 12 to 2. Shannon,
Yes,
Ronish,
sir. Can
any,
Free,
yes,
sir.
yes.
You're free on
Free.
Monday 12 to 2?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you guys are
Yes,
free,
sir. After that, we have
2 to 4 class with Mr. Bimal Kumar.
after that we had two.
Yes, sir. 2 to 4.
2 to 4 with
2 to
Mr.
4.
Bimal. Yeah, don't worry. The class won't go till entire from 12 to 2. I'm thinking of taking the class for at least about 1.5 hours. The issue is because you must have noticed I have put up the recording of our very first class. Now Moodle can only take in about maximum of 100 MB, and this particular file was about 195 MB. So I tried to put it up on YouTube, and from there I had put it up embedded it on the Moodle page. But YouTube also has a limitation. You cannot put in excessive large files. So just because of that, I will reduce the class to, let's say, 1.5 hours, or yeah, max 1.5 hours. So that should be fine. So you'll have half an hour break, and after that you can attend your CSC 621 class with Mr. Bimal Kumar. All right. Now, education students, just to reconfirm, just cross-check your timetable if it's clashing. So Monday 12 to 2, CN 603 for your lecture class. Is there a problem with anyone, or is that totally fine?
It's totally fine, sir.
Totally fine. Okay, so let's go and adjust our timetable. Thank you. So we'll shift the class to Monday. (12 to 2 p.m. So that will be a lecture, and we'll make this into a tutorial class. All set?
Yes, sir.
Any further questions, anyone? Since we are still doing some general consultation or general issues and query or questions, this is the time.
Sir.
All good? Okay.
sir.
Ronish, all good from your end?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Monish?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So all good from Ronish and Monish. Mushahat, all okay from your end?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now, just to go and trace back a few things, okay? So our timetable is all set. Now, to attend our classes, you have a Zoom link right underneath your timetable. Just like the reminder that I gave on Tuesday, okay? From week 2 onwards, you will not have a Zoom link somewhere underneath week 2. The Zoom link that we'll be referring to is, or it will be directly underneath the timetable. Okay, so this is the view that you are seeing in your screen, or you will see in your screens. Now, recording or lecture recordings or tutorial recordings will go underneath or right at the very bottom of your week section. So week 1, we had a class on Tuesday, recorded, and this is where the recording is. Now, just to let you know, these recordings are actually pulled from YouTube. I have created a dummy channel, and from there, all the YouTube videos are pulled through. Just in case, if you're playing this video, you can directly, there's a link that will allow you to jump directly to YouTube. What you can do is you can subscribe to the channel. So as soon as there is a subscribe, and I think there's a bell icon next to the subscription button. So if there's a new video that has just come up, you can have a look at it. And also it's good to go around viewing this video once or twice while you're revising, because normally in the lecture class, we're discussing a lot of things with some easy or quick reminders and examples which can make your understanding better. So that's on lecture recording. Now, for each and every lecture, you have a lecture quiz. Okay, so your lecture 1 quiz, please, I've seen at the moment no one has attempted it. Okay, that's totally fine with me. You have time till the 30th of October, but please do not drag it too far. Okay, and it's also a good idea to attempt this after your tutorial, because your tutorial questions, there might be some questions that may be interrelated to the lecture quiz in one way or the other. So it's a good idea that once we have discussed the tutorial questions, you can go and answer your lecture-based quiz. Do not drag it too long, else things will be piling up on you. Now, looking at your assessments, just a reminder, you have these following assessments. You have your weekly quiz. Okay, now the quiz is weekly. Now, sometimes you may not have your quiz on weekly basis. Why? Reason being why is because your quiz is generally based on your lecture notes. So just in case if there is a very long set of lecture notes and that lecture notes is divided into 2 weeks, so you'll have only one lecture quiz between those 2 weeks. So most likely you'll notice it available as lecture 1 quiz. Next week you'll have lecture 2 quiz. Okay. Going back to assessment section again. You do not have any other form of assessment before your mid-semester break. Okay, so you'll just have mid-semester exam in week 7. So that gives you a good set of time to actually score as much as mark as possible in your mid-semester exam, because it carries 20% of your coursework. Now your project here, I'll try to release it somewhere around week 4 or week 3 or week 4, so that you will have close to about 9 to good set of 9 to 10 weeks to actually go and tackle your project. And preferably, I will be asking you to do in pairs or groups of 3. So that will try to make work a bit more easier. And you have a short test that will be very much similar to your online quiz or lecture-based quiz. Any questions, anyone? Any questions, anyone? No questions? Okay. If no questions, let's go and have a look at your tutorial questions. Are you able to view the tutorial questions? Yes?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Now, all of you must be having something similar as that. Okay. Now, first set of questions that you have is on matching. It says, identify the letter of the choice that best matches the phrase or definition. I hope you have attempted it. Now, what we can do is there's 2 things we can do here, or 2 or 3 things. First thing is that I could simply go around answering all the questions from the very beginning to the very end, but it will make the entire class very boring. So what I will suggest is for us all to make an attempt to answer the question. So if it's not a problem with you, can we go around following the line in order? For example, first question probably Janesh can give it an attempt, then Monish, and we'll go around one after the other. Now, if your answer is wrong, just by in case, it's not a problem. Okay, it's a learning process. So we're trying to learn. Is that fine, or you don't agree?
Fine, sir.
Fine. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Okay. Now you have matching question. It says identify the letter of choice that best matches the phrase or definition. So you have few words given in. Okay. So you have from A to J. You have MIS. What is the long form for MIS? Long form for MIS. Ganesh, what is the long form for MIS? Just in case if you do not know the answer, just let me know. Don't know, or just say pass. Okay. Ganesh, do you know what MIS is? Okay. Monish, would you happen to know what MIS would stand for?
Pardon, sir. Hey, my network is a bit slow.
Okay. All right. Now, what I was asking is, would you happen to know what would the long form for MIS would be?
Management Information System.
Okay, thank you. So yes, MIS would mean Management Information System. You all able to hear me clearly?
Sir, your voice is lagging.
It's breaking up.
It's breaking up. Okay. Now, if that would be the case for this class, just in case if you're not able to speak or hear me clearly, what I'll do is then I will do the talking part, and then you people can hear. But I'll try to ask questions somewhere here and there in the middle, just to make the class more interactive. Okay. Now, what I'll also do is I'll turn off the video so that the voice is more clear. All right, so you have a few words over there. So the first one is MIS, like Monish has mentioned, it's Management Information System. We have another word over there, network model, object model, fuzzy logic, ERP, team leaders, operational employees, supply chain management, data model, and prototype. So what you are supposed to do is with the sentences or the phrases given here, okay, you need to go and do matching, match which one is what. So let's go and have a look at the first one. The first one is saying, in many large companies, these kinds of systems provide cost-effective support for users and managers throughout the company. So what would that be?
ERP, sir.
ERP? Okay, so are you able to see the tutorial question? What are you seeing on the screen at the moment?
Tutorial question.
Tutorial question? Okay, thank you. All right, so the correct answer is ERP. So thank you. Yes, the answer is ERP. Number two, the name for new business support systems that produce valuable information in addition to performing manual tasks, they are primary users web managers. So which one matches the best? The name for new business support systems.
MIS.
MIS, thank you. Yes, the correct answer is MIS. Number three, a business-to-business site that allows buyers, sellers, distributors, and manufacturers to offer products, submit specifications, and transact business. So what happens here is business, okay, that allows buyers and sellers, distributors, and manufacturers to offer products, submit specifications, and transact business. So the correct answer over there would be anyone?
H.
H, and
Supply-
H is supply chain management.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Musharat. Number four, many knowledge management systems use this technique, which allows interferences to be drawn from precise relationships. Many knowledge management systems use this technique, which allows inferences, the word inferences would mean conclusion, to be drawn from imprecise relationships. Imprecise means something that may not be exact. So your answer over there is?
B.
Your answer is D, network model. Is it B or D? D for dog?
Yes.
Okay, yes, it's fuzzy logic. Thank you. People who oversee operational employees and carry out day-to-day functions. Who are these individuals? Now, I think just looking at the options, just looking at the options when we talk about people. So I think the best, just even if you do not look at the definition, there's only one phrase which matches, because talking about people. So I think the best one over is F,
F.
team leaders.
Team leaders.
Team leaders. Question number 6. People who rely on TP systems, so the abbreviation TP would stand for transaction processing systems, to enter and receive data, they need to perform their jobs. So who are these people?
Operational. G.
Operational employees. G.
Operational employees? Okay, G. Thank you. G for goat. Yes.
She gold.
G for gold, G for goat. Okay. Whichever you want to apply to. Okay. Number 7 describes the design and protocols of telecommunication links.
B.
B.
B. Anyone has a different answer apart from B? All of you the same answer?
B.
B.
B. Yes, it's B. That is network model. Thank you. Question number 8 describes objects which combine data and processes. This is pretty simple.
E. Object
E
model.
and E is, did you say E or C? C for
E.
cat? C?
Yes, sir.
Object model. Thank you. Yep, that's the correct answer. Object model. Number 9 describes data structures and design.
Data model. I.
Data model. I think that was Monish, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Monish. Yes, you're correct. The correct answer over there is data model. Number 10, an early working version of an information system.
Prototype.
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 J.
This is the
J.
only one that you're left with. And also, wherever when you hear the word as a model or a early working version, it's definitely prototype. Okay, so these are your correct answers. Let me quickly code the answers once again. So for number 1, the correct answer is ERP. Number 2 is MIS. Number 3 is supply chain management. Number 4, fuzzy logic. Number 5, team leaders. Number 6, operational employees. Number 7, network model. Number 8, object model. Number 9, data model. And number 10 is prototype. Now, anyone has any doubts about any of these answers, or should you have any questions, you can take a minute. It's 10:23. You can take a minute, let's say till 12:24 or 25. And then if you have any questions, feel free to ask. No questions? So let's continue. Okay, essay and discussion questions, but not necessarily you need to go and write down essays over here. Okay, if you have written short answer question, if you've given short answers, that should also be fine, as long as you know what the question is asking and you are able to attempt it, and at the end of the day you are able to attain those certain knowledge from those questions. Okay, so question number 1, explain what a knowledge worker is and why this kind of worker is required by successful companies. So what I'll do for these kind of questions is that I'll ask individuals. What I'll do is I'll just grab hold of a name from the participants list and I'll try to ask questions to those individuals. Or the other thing, what I'll do is I'll go around reading. So where I feel the answers are not so lengthy, I can ask someone to actually answer those. Or if where I feel the answers are too lengthy, I'll just go around speaking other answers. In case of first one, I'll actually speak it out. So this is what I'll do. I'll try to go slow as much as possible, and then I'll repeat the answers 2 times so that you're able to grasp it. Okay, so first one, explain what a knowledge worker is and why this kind of worker is required by successful companies. So the answer is, knowledge workers include professional staff members such as systems analysts, programmers, accountants, researchers, trainers, and human resource specialists. Knowledge workers also use business support systems, knowledge management systems, and user productivity systems. Now, just answer this. Do you need me to go slower so that do you want me to dictate so that you can write down the answer, or do you want me to just go as I'm doing at the moment so that you want and you are able to watch the video later on? So what do you want to do? Dictate, or do you want me to just proceed as I'm doing at the moment?
Just proceed.
Just proceed. Now here's the thing: if I would just proceed too fast, then you'll have to go around, rewatching the entire video. Do you want to do that, or do you want me to just go slow so that you're able to write the important points?
Also,
Go slow. You're able
Yes,
to
sir.
write the important points at the moment, so that later
Yes,
onwards you don't have to watch the video all over.
yes, sir.
Another
Yes.
thing is this: if you're able to write down these, and just in case these kind of these kind of questions appear in your lecture quiz, you can always go around looking at your short notes that you have done. So I'll give you a minute to grab a pen or paper, something like that. Okay, grab hold of it, and probably you can write it down. Or another thing you can do is if you have mobile phones on you, or if you're attending your Zoom classes via mobile phones, just turn your recorder on, and you should be able to record. So the answer: knowledge workers include professional staff members. Knowledge workers include professional staff members, such as systems analysts, programmers, researchers, and human resource specialists. And human resource specialists. Full stop. Knowledge workers also use BSS, which is business support systems, BSS, KMS. KMS is knowledge management system. KMS, and UPS. What's UPS? User productivity systems. So the second part of the question is why this kind of worker is required by successful companies. Why? Knowledge workers provide support. Knowledge workers provide support for the organization's basic functions. Full stop. Example: just as a military unit, example, just as a military unit, military, the army guys, military unit requires logistical support, a successful company needs knowledge workers. A successful company needs knowledge workers to carry out its mission. A successful company needs knowledge workers to carry out its missions. Full stop. So that was the answer for question number 1. Now, give me feedback from your end. How's it? Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? Generally, when you are in a face-to-face class, I'm able to see while you're writing. At the moment, I'm not able to see you while you're writing. So give me some sort of feedback. How's it going? All good? Okay, just let me know if I'm going way too fast. Janesh, okay from your side?
Yes, sir.
Monish, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Musharat,
Yes, sir.
all good? Okay, Ronish, all good?
All good, sir.
Okay, and Shannon, all good?
All good.
Okay, thank you. Right, when I get feedback from your end, then I know everything is fine. If you guys are way too quiet, if I do not hear any feedback, so I may feel something is wrong somewhere, or you are totally not able to hear me at all. So it's probably every now and then when I ask you, just provide me some sort of feedback. Number 2, what are the disadvantages of each of the 3 system development methods? Now, this is sort of a very technical question. Why technical question is, first of all, you need to know what are the 3 system development methods are. That's one. And secondly, it's not asking about the advantages, it's asking about the drawbacks, the cons, the disadvantages. Now, the 3, do not write this down. When I ask you to write, then write it down. Now, 3 system development methods, they are basically structured analysis, object-oriented analysis, and agile or adaptive methods. So those are the 3 systems. Now, from here onwards, you can write it down. Structured analysis, give it a hyphen or a dash. Structured analysis, hyphen, okay. The first disadvantage is that changes can be costly. Changes can be costly, comma, especially in later phases. Full stop. Requirements are defined early. Requirements are defined early and can change during development. Requirements are defined early and can change during development. Full stop. Users might not be able to describe. Users might not be able to describe their needs until they can see examples. Describe their needs until they can see examples of features and functions. So let me repeat the entire thing. With structured analysis, changes can be costly, especially in later phases. Requirements are defined early and can change during development. Users might not be able to describe their needs until they can see examples of features and functions. Full stop. Next method is object-oriented analysis, or in brackets, you can write down OOA. The disadvantage is that OOA is a newer method of development. OOA is a newer method of development, which might be less familiar to development team members, which might be less familiar to development team members. Full stop. Also, comma, the interaction of objects and classes, can be complex in larger systems. The interaction of objects and classes can be complex in larger systems. So let me repeat that. Object-oriented analysis, OOA, is a newer method of development which might be less familiar to development team members. Full stop. Also, the interaction of objects and classes can be complex in larger systems. The next system development method is agile or adaptive method. Agile, AGILE, / adaptive, ADAPTIVE, adaptive method. So disadvantage is that team members need a high level of technical and communication skills. Team members need a high level of technical and communication skills. Full stop. Lack of structure and documentation can introduce risk factors. Full stop. Lack of structure and documentation can introduce risk factors. Full stop. Finally, comma, the overall project might be subject to scope change, as user requirements change. Finally, the overall project might be subject to scope change as user requirements change. Full stop. So let me repeat the entire thing. Agile or adaptive method. Team members need a high level of technical and communication skills. Lack of structure and documentation can introduce risk factors. Finally, the overall project might be subject to scope change as user requirements change. Full stop. Question number 3. Discuss the 5 basic systems development guidelines. Now, overall, there are 5, like the question is asking. So don't write at the moment, just let me give you an overview. So there are 5 of them. First one is you need to develop a plan. Second one is you need to involve stakeholders or users. Third one is you need to decide on the project management tools and techniques. Fourth one is you need to do a cost and benefit analysis. And the last one is you need to remain flexible. So you can write now. The first one is develop a plan. Develop a plan. And to discuss it, prepare an overall project plan and stick to it. Prepare an overall project plan and stick to it. Full stop. Complete the tasks in a logical sequence. Complete the tasks in a logical sequence. Complete the tasks in a logical sequence, full stop. Develop a clear set of ground rules. Develop a clear set of ground rules. And be sure that everyone on the team understands them clearly. Full stop. So let me repeat that. Develop a plan, prepare an overall project plan and stick to it. Complete the tasks in a logical sequence. Develop a clear set of ground rules and be sure that everyone on the team understands them clearly. Next guideline is involve users. Next guideline is involve users. Explanation for that is ensure that users are involved. Ensure that users are involved in the development process. In the development process, especially when identifying and modeling system requirements. Especially when identifying and modeling system requirements. Your very next guideline over there is use project management tools and techniques. Next guideline, use project management tools and techniques. The discussion part on that is try to keep the project on track. Try to keep the project on track and avoid surprises. Try to keep the project on track and avoid surprises. Full stop. Create milestones. Create milestones. Create milestones to be on track. Full stop. Your next guideline is develop accurate cost and benefit information. Develop accurate costs and benefit information. Project managers need to know the cost of developing and operating a system, the cost of developing and operating a system versus the benefits it will provide. Versus the benefit it will provide. The figures must be realistic. The figures must be realistic and update them where necessary. The figures must be realistic and update them where necessary. And your very last guideline is remain flexible. Be flexible within the framework of your plan. Be flexible within the framework of your plan. Full stop. Systems development is a dynamic process. Systems development is a dynamic process and overlap often exists among tasks. And overlap often exists among tasks. Full stop. Question number 4. What is information technology and why is it important to a business? So information technology or IT is the combination of hardware and software products. IT is the combination of hardware and software products and services that companies use to manage, access, access, communicate, and share information. Communicate and share information. Let's have a look at the importance now. First one, technology has important effects. Technology has important effects on business operations. Effects on business operations. No matter the size of your enterprise, Technology has both tangible and intangible benefits. Tangible and intangible benefits. Full stop. Tangible benefits are benefits. Tangible benefits are benefits measured in monetary value. Whereas intangible benefits are non-monetary values. Example, customer service. Technology, full stop, technology also affects the culture. Technology also affects the culture, comma, efficiency and relationship of a business. Efficiency and relationship of a business. Full stop. Technology also provides security. Technology also provides security of information. Full stop. Question number 5. Define business profiles, processes, and modeling. Business profile is an overview. Business profile is an overview of a company's mission. Comma, functions, comma, organization, comma, products and services, comma, products and services, comma, customers and suppliers, comma, competitors, comma, competitors, comma, and future direction. And future direction. A business process is a specific set of transactions, comma, specific set of transactions, comma, events, comma, and results, events, comma, and results that can be described and documented. That can be described and documented. Finally, a business process model it graphically displays one or more business processes. It graphically displays one or more business processes. Question number 6. Identify the main components of information system and describe systems stakeholders. Now, the main components, you can quickly list them down. It's hardware, software, data or information, you have people, and finally, processes or procedures. Processes or procedures. Stakeholders. We are supposed to describe who stakeholders are. Stakeholders are people who have. Stakeholders are people who have interests in an information system. Example, the management staff, the end users, and IT staff members. The management staff, end users, and IT staff members. Question number 7. Explain the difference between vertical and horizontal systems packages. A horizontal system is one that can be adapted, for use in many different types of companies. That can be adapted for use in many different types of companies. Example, a payroll application. A vertical system is designed to meet the unique requirements of a specific business or industry. Example, for a medical practitioner. Question number 8. How do companies use EDI? What are some advantages of XML? Now, EDI in long form, you can write this down. It's electronic data interchange. EDI is electronic data interchange. It is a computer to computer. It is a computer to computer data transfer usually over private communication lines. Now, the second part, what is the advantage of XML? Now, XML or extensible markup language, XML or extensible markup language okay, Janesh, I'll try to go slower. XML or extensible markup language is a flexible data description language, is a flexible data description language that allows web-based communication, that allows web-based communication between different hardware and software environments, allows web-based communication between different hardware and software environments. Question number 9. Describe 5 types of information systems and give an example of each. Okay, information system number 1. You have ERP or enterprise resource planning. ERP in long form is enterprise resource planning. It is also known as enterprise computing systems. It supports company-wide operations. It supports company-wide operations. And data management requirements. It supports company-wide operations and data management requirements. Full stop. It incorporates enterprise-wide internal and external, enterprise-wide internal and external IS, short form for information system, internal and external IS into a single unified solution. Into a single unified solution. Full stop. Next IS is transaction processing systems. Transaction processing systems, in bracket we can write it down as TPS. TPS. It records day-to-day transaction of a business. It records day-to-day transactions of a business. It records day-to-day transactions of a business. Your third IS over there is going to be Business Support Systems, or BSS. Business Support Systems, or BSS. Are the components that the components that a telecommunication are the components that a telecommunication service provider uses to run its business operations towards customers. Full stop. Your next IS is KMS, or in long form is Knowledge Management Systems. It is also known as Expert Systems. It is also known as Expert Systems. It captures the expertise of workers. It captures the expertise of workers and then simulates that expertise to benefit the non-experts. Simulates that expertise to benefit the non-experts. Full stop. Your next IS is UPS, or User Productivity Systems. User productivity systems are technology that improve productivity. Are technology that improve productivity. Example, word processing, email. Example, word processing, email, video conferencing, and database management systems. Video conferencing and database management systems. Question number 10. Describe 4 organizational levels of a typical business and their information requirements. So your 4 organizational levels, do not write this at the moment. It's top managers, middle managers, supervisors, and operational employees. Now write it down. Top managers. They have a global overview of the business. They have a global overview They have a global overview of the business. Top managers focus on overall business enterprise. Top managers focus on overall business enterprise and use IT to set and use IT to set the company's goals and directions. Company's goals and directions. Okay, so the second part is what information do they need? They need information on economic forecasts, technology trends, economic forecasts, technology trends, competitive threats, competitive threats, and governing issues. Next level is middle managers. Middle managers and knowledge workers. Add knowledge workers over there as well, please. Middle managers and knowledge workers. They provide direction. They provide direction, necessary resources, and performance feedback to supervisors. The type of information that they need, middle managers need more detailed information. They need more detailed information. They need more detailed information than top managers. This detailed information provide support. This detailed information provides support for the organization's basic functions. Full stop. So your next level is supervisors. They manage a group of operational users. And are responsible for their performance. and are responsible for their performance. Supervisors carry out day-to-day functions. Supervisors carry out day-to-day functions, comma. Therefore, they need information. Therefore, they need information to make necessary decisions. Therefore, they need information to make necessary decisions. So the information that they need to make these decisions, you can put down a hash or a hyphen, hash or a hyphen, and write down decision support information. Decision support information. Expert knowledge. And user productivity information. Full stop. Okay, the last level that you have is operational employees. So these are normally the ground level staff. These are normally ground level staff. Example, clerical. Example, clerical. C-L-E-R-I-C-A-L, clerical. Operational, clerical, comma, operational, and administrative personnel. And administrative personnel. Spelling of personnel is P-E-R-S-O-N-N-E-L, personnel. Full stop. They most likely have day-to-day contact with the information system. They most likely have day-to-day contact with the information system. So the type of information that they generally need is they need transaction processing information. The type of information that they need is transaction processing information. Type of information they need is transaction processing information. So that completes question number 10. Question number 11. Describe the phases of the system's development life cycle and compare the SDLC waterfall model to the spiral model. Okay, so this is going to be a long answer. So what I'll try to do is I'll try to simplify it so that it becomes easy for you to write it down. So first of all, write down SDLC phases. SDLC phases. Phase 1. SDL phases. Phase 1, systems planning. Now, let's describe systems planning. The purpose of this phase is to perform a preliminary investigation. The purpose of this phase is to perform a preliminary preliminary investigation. The key outcome of this phase is a feasibility study. The key outcome of this phase is a feasibility study. Full stop. The key outcome of this phase is a feasibility study. Feasibility, F-E-A-S-I-B-I-L-I-T-Y, feasibility. Okay, so that was phase number 1. Phase 2, systems analysis. System analysis, so the description. The deliverable of this phase is the deliverable, D-E-L-I-V-E-R-A-B-L-E. The deliverable of this phase is the systems requirement document. The deliverable of this phase is the systems requirement document. Now put a hash next to systems requirement document to describe what it is. Specifies the hardware. Specifies the hardware. Comma software. Comma functional and network requirements. Comma functional and network requirements needed for the new system. Functional and network requirements needed for the new system. Phase 3, systems design. Let's define systems design. It includes the design of the application. It includes the design of the application. Comma, network, comma, databases. Includes the design of the application, comma, network, comma, databases, comma, user interfaces, comma, and system interface. And system interface. Full stop. This phase, the phase that is system design, this phase transforms the system requirements. This phase transforms the systems requirement into a logical structure, and proposes a system design. And proposes the system design. It transforms the system's requirement document into a logical structure and proposes a systems design. So what it simply means is that in system analysis phase, the deliverable there was a systems requirement document. So it had the list of requirements in it. So those requirements, okay, so it comes in, it is laid out into a logical structure, and based on it, a design is proposed. Next phase, that's phase number 4, if I'm not wrong. Yep, phase number 4, system implementation. System implementation. Now the definition, the proposed design is put into action. The proposed design is put into action. The proposed design is put into action. Full stop. It includes developing and building. It includes developing or building rather. It includes developing or building of the system. Developing or building of the system. Full stop. The system is tested for errors. The system is tested for errors, comma, trialed, T-R-I-A-L-E-D, trialed, and ensured that it is working as expected, and ensured that it is working as expected. Full stop. The new system is then implemented in the organization. The new system is then implemented in the organization. Full stop. Your next phase, phase number 5, system support and security. System support and security. In the definition, it provides support. It provides support and maintenance to the system. Provides support and maintenance to the system. So when you talk about maintenance, it's about upgrading the system, or if there's any error, resolving the errors. Okay, it provides support and maintenance to the system. Full stop. It also ensures that all security measures. It also ensures that all security measures. It also ensures that all security measures are implemented and maintained. It also ensures that all security measures are implemented and maintained. Full stop. So that was the first part of the question. Now it seems very long, seems rather confusing, seems difficult, but as you go on eventually throughout the semester, you'll find these things easy. Okay, this is the first time you've been introduced to such large type of questions and such kind of systems. Eventually it gets easier. Now the second part of the question is, compare the SDLC waterfall model with the spiral model. So we have to compare the waterfall model with the spiral model. Okay, let's do about 2 or 3 comparisons. Okay, so that you do not have a lot of answers there. So comparison number 1. Now what you can do is this. For waterfall model, I'll use abbreviation WM, and for spiral model, I'll use abbreviation is SM. I will say in full, you can write WM and SM in short for easy reference. Okay, waterfall model works in sequential method. Waterfall model works in sequential method. SEQUENTIAL, sequential model method, sequential method. Whereas spiral model works in evolutionary method. Spiral model works in evolutionary method. Spelling of evolutionary is EVOLUTIONARY. EVOLUTIONARY. Evolutionary method. Okay, so next difference. Waterfall model, in waterfall model, errors or risks are identified. In waterfall model, errors or risks are identified and rectified, RECTIFIED, and rectified after the completion of stages. After the completion of stages. Whereas in spiral model, errors or risks are identified, whereas in spiral model, errors or risks are identified and rectified earlier within the stages. Identified and rectified earlier within the stages. In other words, in waterfall model, once the entire project is done, then errors are rectified. In spiral model, while in the developing process, the risks and errors are identified and they are attended to. Let's have one more difference. Okay, waterfall model is adopted by customers. Waterfall model is adopted by customers. Whereas spiral model is adopted by developers. Whereas spiral model is adopted by developers. So waterfall model basically is more of a say of customers, and in spiral model is more of a say from the developers. Let's put on another simple difference so that you'll find it easy to actually choose which one is good for you to remember. Now, waterfall model is applicable for small projects. Waterfall model is applicable for small projects. Whereas spiral model is used for large projects. Whereas spiral model is used for large projects. Last question. Question number 12. Explain the use of models, prototypes, and case tools in the system development process. Also explain the pros and cons of agile development. Okay, let's have simple answers. First one, put down models and then hash. Models and dash, put down a dash over there. What is the use for it? Okay, the use is it describes activities in the SDLC phase. It describes activities in the SDLC phase. Describes activities in SDLC phase from planning to maintenance. From planning to maintenance. Next one is prototype. Dash. It is the building of a model. It is the building of a model of the system. It is the building of a model of the system. Which displays the functionality. Which displays the functionality of the displays the functionality of the final product. And then case tools. Case is computer aided systems engineering. Case, computer aided system engineering. Put down a dash or a hyphen. It is used by systems analysts. It is used by systems analysts to develop and maintain models. To develop and maintain models of business processes. Okay, let's look at the second part of the question. Pros and cons of agile development methods. So put down agile development method, and pros, another word for pros is advantage. So what is the pros of agile development method? First one, it keeps up with the requirements. It keeps up with the, put it like this, it keeps up with the changing requirements. It keeps up with the changing requirements. Full stop. The second pros is derived from the first one. Okay, since it keeps up with the changing requirements, therefore there is a continuous improvement. So second advantage would be continuous improvement. Continuous improvement. The third one, since it keeps up with the requirement and there's continuous improvement, what happens is that more and more people are involved in it. So when more people are involved in it, so you are able to have continuous improvement. So third point is greater communication with the stakeholders. Third point is greater communication with the stakeholders. greater communication or involvement with stakeholders. Now let's focus on the cons of agile development. First one, constant planning takes time. Constant planning takes time. Now, if you look at the advantage, it said, it's always trying to keep up with the requirements, always trying to improve. So therefore, it always trying plan new things. So therefore, the first disadvantage is that constant planning takes time. Second disadvantage, since there's constant planning, so new things keep on coming every now and then in terms of technology, new ways of tackling problems. So the second disadvantage is that there is a need for highly skilled resources. There is a need for highly skilled resources. Need for highly skilled resources. And the very last disadvantage is that since you have a lot of stakeholders, a lot of people will generally have a lot of different opinions. So just because of that comes in our third disadvantage, or the third con, which is sudden change in requirements. Sudden change in requirements. Full stop. Sudden change in requirements. Now, this is what it simply may mean. Sometimes you have developed and completed the project, let's say within a day or two, another new requirement comes in and you have to entertain that as well. So that is why it is said to be that there is that the sudden change in requirement is a disadvantage, because when you have sudden change in requirement, so you need more people, more labor, and you need more time. Therefore, the cost of the development of the project also increases. Okay, all good, everyone? So if all's good, so this completes our tutorial for week 1. Now, if you will go onto Moodle, okay, week 1, okay, week 1 Moodle, if you're there already with me, okay, even if you're not there, that's fine. Now your tutorial over here, this covers a lot of questions. In terms of,
Yes, sir.
okay, it covers up a lot of questions. Now the advantage of this is once we have discussed and answered all these tutorial questions, now over the weeks, you'll see there are questions coming in which will be very similar to tutorial 1. So that makes your work easier. And why I had gone around inserting so many questions is that these are the hardest parts. Once you're actually able to learn and grasp these things, so the questions that will be coming in the later weeks will be a bit more easier for you all. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's our tutorial 1, and this also concludes our week 1 for CIM 603. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming in. Thank you for your time. I hope you will go over your lecture-based quiz, and also you'll go over the questions. Please keep on revising, keep on reading the questions. Eventually, these are the types of the questions that will be tested in your mid-semester and in your final assessments. Till then, take care, stay safe. Before we leave, any questions or any queries from anyone? Would you like to have any questions asked? No? If not, thank you all. See you next week. See you next week, Monday. All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.